Okay, we're ready to begin. Announcement of notice, open public meeting statement. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. As required under law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided via email and/or fax to the Times, the Lawrence Ledger, the Public Library, and has been filed with the municipal clerk. This notice was provided prior to 48 hours required by the Open Public Meetings Act. The board reserves the right to limit public discussion of personnel items and other matters as defined in the law. We'll now have the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just thought somebody should sing.
Okay. We do not have a student representative report,
Yes.
but at this time, we would like to enter into a moment of silence for a recent senior who passed as a result of an auto accident. His name is Armando Rosario III, and we would just like to give a moment of silence in his honor. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and now we will move on to recognition and acknowledgements.
Good evening. Late last week, I shared with our Board of Education, and then we shared with our entire staff, that Dr. Andrew Zuckerman accepted a position as Superintendent of Schools for Northern Burlington. As this is a wonderful opportunity for Andrew, we are extremely happy for him, but also know how much he will be missed. I know he's here, so I want to thank Andrew for his leadership, his guidance, and all that he has done for our district, our students, our families, our staff, and our school community. On behalf of the Board of Education and myself, I want to share ultimate gratitude for all that Andrew did to make Lawrence such a wonderful place to learn and grow. I also want to take the opportunity, Andrew, please share a thanks to your family for allowing you to be here and share your expertise and talents with us, often taking time away from them. It really helped make Lawrence be excellent. So with that, I wish you tons of continued success, and then we'll be in touch. You're welcome. 3 minutes. And that's all I have as far as recognitions and acknowledgements.
Thank you, Ross. And now for the board secretary's report.
Sorry,
Adoption minutes.
the
I
adoption
always
minutes.
do that. Okay. And if I could have a motion for the adoption of minutes.
So moved. Second.
So that was Ms. Evans, seconded by Ms. Groeger, is what I've got recorded. Are you ready for the roll call?
Yes, please. Call
Okay,
the-
Ms. Bose.
Abstain.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Mrs. Groeger.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. And now for the superintendent's report.
Summer's going by really quickly. It's hard to believe that it's already August 10th. We continue to work diligently to plan and prepare for the opening of schools. I really want to thank all. It's been such a team effort to get ready for the 2022-2023 school year. And we're really excited about the opening of school and having a more normal year and about our future. We will be kicking off the year with great enthusiasm, guided by our strategic plan. We have several action items already put into place so that we can make our home our hopes, our dreams, and our aspirations a reality. And I'm excited to share where we are with the board at our retreat in 2 weeks. That's all I have. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that report. And now, Mr. Secretary, do you have a report for us?
We have advertised for the special meeting on the 24th, and so that meeting is, the agenda is also posted on our website, and you'll find that there is no formal action on that agenda. There is no executive session on that agenda. We'll be meeting in the library here in the high school, and so the special meeting has been called for the purpose of a retreat. And there are various types of goal type of discussions that will be happening associated with that. And other than that, all of my items are in the agenda this evening, and there'll be a more formal report on the 29th.
Okay, thank you very much. And now for the President's report, I just want to take this moment to personally thank Andrew. Thank you for your service to the district, parents, and the community. I've learned so much from you that I will carry on with me forward, and I just want to wish you all the best in your future. Thank you once again. Okay. And moving on now to the committee reports, Community Relations and Legislative Affairs.
No meeting held. We're planning a meeting within the next week or two and should be able to send out notices.
Okay. Negotiations has not met. And now moving on to equity.
Myself and Clifton met on August 5th at 8:30 a.m. We talked briefly about the new equity champions for this coming year, including 4 new ones added. New DEI responsibilities, including a new staff induction, equity presentation. They're piloting an Affirming cultural equity tool. Clifton will be holding community and parent conversations, and will be requesting to be present at other committee meetings. And our presentations by him will resume in September, and we'll be working long-term on talking about creating systems that are impacting instruction.
Thank you. I did have a chance to meet with Mr. Thompson separately on equity, and he did mention the notion of being a part of all of our committees, and that's something that I'm sure we could discuss going further, but would probably be a really good idea, as equity is one of the 3 prongs of our strategic plan. So now for guidance and mental health.
Guidance and Mental Health will be meeting on the 17th of August.
Okay. And then now to the liaison reports with New Jersey Board of Association.
Okay. I had a meeting for Mercer County Planning, and I know some of you like to attend our meetings. We are going to host one hopefully here at Lawrence High School, October 6th. The topic is mental health. The second meeting for the year will be December 1st, and the topic will be school security. What are some preventative actions that schools can take? Third one, February 2nd, topics will be managing the school board meeting process. The fourth one, March 15th, will be a new one for us, which will be Unsung Heroes. This is where a student will be selected from the high school who normally isn't a student that would excel either in athletics or drama. It's a student that is kind, that looks for the welfare of others, that gives back to the community. And the selection will be made from guidance counselors, from administration, and what happens is New Jersey school boards gets all of the information, and they ask for photos, and they read. The student doesn't have to be present. They read all of the information about the student, and they portray pictures of activities that the student has been in, and this will be through Mercer County. So we've always done 8th grade dialogue, and if you had an opportunity to watch that, we did it earlier this year, and we had a student, obviously, from the middle school, and she was phenomenal, and shared the pros of the pandemic, which we're looking at all the negatives, and these students were looking at the pros, which was exciting for board members to hear. So if you haven't had an opportunity to look at that, please tune into that. Ray Pinney does an amazing job interviewing the students. And then the last meeting will be May 3rd, our spring dinner, which will be recognitions. I took a quick look at some of the upcoming things. Governor Murphy signed school threat assessment legislation, which kind of has an assessment team that helps to ensure a safe, secure school environment by assessing staff in identifying students who pose potential safety risks, preventing targeted violence in the district. They took a look at the issues of sample resolutions for the health care that we've all switched over to with the school health care. And there's a sample resolution online, and I printed it out if we want to look at it. The astronomical costs that we're supposed to save the district's money have gone the opposite direction. So people are looking for opposing this because of those absorbent height rates. Proposed change to school ethics regulations. In the past, board members were asked to attend training sessions. And we've had a few districts who have had board members who have been on serve for many years and never attended them. Our board is really very good at attending, and most of us go above and beyond, so this really doesn't reflect us, so to speak, and we'll talk more about that later. Let's see, the other one was certifications report from Camden, determining educator preparation certifications and professional developments. Then there was a survey that was taken about schools and how they rank, and New Jersey schools ranked number 3 in the nation, and they were based on factors such as performance, funding, safety, class size, instructor credentials, and this was according to Wallet Hub study. And Facebook Live events, this is exciting. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, they're going to announce the County Teacher of the Year. So if you want to take a look online and see that, because County Mercer will be in there. And let's see, just want to make sure. Fact sheets highlighting actions to address youth mental health crisis. Department of Education recently released a fact sheet on steps that's taken to combat mental health crisis that young people are facing. And delegate assembly deadline for any resolutions. The resolution date closing is November 19th, so we need to get, if we're interested in doing that. And obviously LTEF did not meet, Direct Link did not meet, and I think I've covered all of my liaison assignments. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Groeger. And now for Lawrence Town Council.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening to everyone. Lawrence Town Council has a meeting scheduled on August 23rd. I would like to congratulate Tanya Carter on her appointment as the new municipal clerk. She started her position in July. She's been a long-serving employee in the town clerk's office. Kathleen Norsha, the long-serving municipal clerk, retired. However, according to Kathleen, she's going to stick close by because the elections in November are coming up. So we're not going to get rid of her for a long time. Over the years, I've had many interactions with Mrs. Carter and found her to be responsive and very helpful. And I want to recognize that the town clerk's office, the administrative team, they are some wonderful, wonderful people. I would like to thank Lawrence Town Council and the administrative team for 2 big items. Number 1, Town Council, in my opinion, gets an A+ because they adopted a resolution supporting the reparations bill that's in the Senate and Assembly, New Jersey Senate Bill A-938. and the Assembly companion bill. What it does is set up a task force to study reparations. In addition to that, I also give Leah Kahn, our local reporter, give her credit because she wrote a very informative article that I think encapsulates everything. And if you go online, it's August the 2nd article, which is a very nice piece. The second big item is the Sleepy Hollow Hotel on Route 1, which is located just before the 295 South entrance. It was demolished. The owner has submitted plans to build a new extended stay hotel on the site now. That truly is good news. That's the conclusion of my report. Oh, I'm sorry. I did provide a handout to fellow board members of the staff at the municipal clerk's office. Certainly, if anyone's planning on running for election or in office, there's information on here that would help you. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Okay, and now for Lawrence Township Growth and Redevelopment. Lawrence Township Growth and Redevelopment met last night, August 9th, 7 p.m. The majority of the discussion was an update on the business manual, which is coming along very nicely and will be made available in the very near future. Also, for discussion was a campaign around Shop Lawrence, which is encouraging small business shopping throughout the town. And also discussion on a possible awards ceremony that we're looking to have to honor local business owners in our community. And lastly, just looking for ways of generating traffic and publicity toward town offerings. So a lot going on there. And next, for partnership, did not meet. Mercer County VOTEC.
Mercer County VOTEC did not meet.
Okay, and special education.
Special education did not meet.
Okay, and next we have a review of communications. Is there anything for it? Okay, with that, this brings us to our first opportunity for public input. We ask that you come to the mic, podium, state your name, your address, and you have a total of 3 minutes to make any comments. Take your time. The clock doesn't start till you get to the podium.
Once you start.
Time's up.
So I
And now,
Mindy
may begin.
Milavsky, principal of the middle school, and I apologize for I literally just got out of the pool to come here. But I just wanted to, from LTPSA, to acknowledge Andrew Zuckerman and thank him for his service. We appreciate your support, your kindness, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yes. Absolutely.
Good evening. This is not my speech. It's the agenda. It's longer.
3 minutes, Andrew.
Name and address. Name and address. Name and address. Andrew Zuckerman, 2565 Princeton Pike. That seemed certainly my home for the past, I don't know how many years. I'm sure somebody has that. Mindy probably knows that off the top of her head. But I wanted to thank, first of all, Ross, thank you for your very kind words and also for your leadership. I continue to learn from you, and it's certainly been a pleasure to work with you, although only 5 years. Thank you to all the present and previous board members. Our discussions truly have made me the person I am today because I continue to learn from all of you as well. The district is home, as Ross said. I mean, it truly is. It is very bittersweet for me. I'm very much looking forward to the opportunity that I have in the next few weeks. But at the same time, the memories of all of you and our work experiences will certainly stay with me forever. So I want to thank not only you, but also the Lawrence community for everything that you have provided me and my family. Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like we're sending our son off to work.
Madam President, if I can just extend my personal thanks to Andrew as well, having sat in the president's seat when we had the transition, and frankly, having Andrew around even when I was a brand new board member, it just made my ability to serve so much easier. He has always been forthcoming with everything, and as we made the transition and embarked on a superintendent search, certainly one of the most difficult and challenging things for any board. Luckily we don't have to do it very often, but he made it so easy and really steered the board and the district in a transition time. And anytime I just reached out, it was always, whatever you need, Kev, we'll make it happen. And that makes being a board member so incredibly easy when you have that kind of support and leadership, and then just the friendships that have developed through the course of those interactions. So on a personal level, and I know I did get a chance to express it to you, but I wanted to publicly express it to you as well. I have valued and cherished all of your help, your input, and frankly, your friendship over the years that I've been on the board, so thank you.
I'd like to share something too. Andrew and I go way back. We were, golly, you were still at Parsippany, I believe, as a health and phys ed teacher. The Department of Education corralled a bunch of us to write core content standard questions for testing for health and phys ed. And that's when I first met Andrew and realized this man is serious. He read everything, questioned everything, very thorough. And then what a blessing he came to Lawrence. And I wound up coaching at the middle school, and one of the days of the bus platform, we're waiting for students to be picked up, and Andrew said, "Why don't you transfer here? You're coaching." The light bulb went on, and I enjoyed working with you so very much. One of the fond memories I have is during the faculty meeting, he would start out with a bouquet of carnations, and he would randomly find somebody in the audience who he had a celebratory comment or an experience that he wanted to share. It made us all want to strive to do more for you. That was a gift, and I don't know if you realize how important that little thing you did meant to so many people. So I thank you for the time we've had together. I know you're going to be awesome at your new position, and as you saw, I'm getting a little verklempt saying goodbye, but thank you from the bottom of my heart.
There'll be one last request, that you will have to pre-record the snow closings and early dismissal notices that we will be putting out.
I'll put various scenarios.
Very good, thank you.
And you have to auction handbag bingo.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, seeing none. Okay, there board discussion and work session, we have none. So again, this brings us to our second opportunity for public input, if there is any. Okay. And next is board discussion action items, of which we have none. So we will now enter into our committee reports, beginning with Personnel Committee.
Okay, we did meet August 3rd, 8:15 till about 9 a.m. Present were Dr. Kasun, Sean Fry, Patricia Farmer-Hendricks, Kevin Van Hise, and myself. Vacancies were discussed for Ben Franken, LES, LIS, LMS, LHS, and as you see on tonight's agenda, many of these positions have recommendations to be filled, which is so exciting. We discussed how strategic plan will help find ways to provide staff with more collaborative opportunities. The Central Office Administration is working on an administrative transition plan for our Office of Curriculum and Instruction. And while the limited CE program and New Jersey Ed certification systems will hopefully streamline the certification process in the future, the system is still facing implementation bugs that will hopefully be resolved soon as it impacts our operations as a district. The district is engaging in focus groups with N.J.A.C to discuss on how they can better support the needs of our district, and there were no policies for revisions this month. And on tonight's agenda, you'll see a few resignations, approvals for payments for unused sick time, vacation time due to retirements. amendments for summer hours, longevity, home instruction, appointments for substitutes throughout the district, EDP positions, leave replacements, mentor assignments, appointments for new staff members due to criminal background clearances, motions to approve several positions for the 22-23 school year for the purpose to provide additional services, and a few exciting transfers, which are going to be fantastic for our students and staff members. And Tom, I would like to pull for the first vote P9 and P31 due to a conflict, and then we'll put those back on for the second vote.
That was 9 and...
9 and 31.
Okay.
So with that, I'd like to move P1 through P8.
Second.
But you're not going to go all the way through and
Yeah, I
just
was
pull
going to
out?
finish.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, I
And
take that
10
back.
through 30, and then
Oh.
30 through 57.
Second.
There you go.
If I can just offer one question on that, we have up through P58, so...
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
So glad somebody's watching my numbers here.
So I'll read it back to you. That is items P 1 through 58, except for 9 and 31. Is that correct?
Oh, I like how you said that way better.
Second. Oh, second.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, with a motion and a second, please call the roll.
Sorry, I had that second wrong. Now I've got it correctly assigned. Ms. Bose.
Sorry.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Groeger.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes.
The motion carried.
Okay, and with that, I'd like to move P9 and P31.
9 and 31.
Second.
That second is Dr. King, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, with a motion,
It was Michelle
Yep,
Bose.
oh, Michelle Bose.
Bose?
We're throwing our voice, it's difficult.
Yeah, got to ask. Okay.
Okay, ready for,
Okay. Ms. Bose.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Mrs. Groeger.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Abstain.
Ms. Farmer.
yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next, we have CIAPD report and instruction.
All right, CIAPD met yesterday, or Monday, sorry. Let me just see if I can pull this up real fast. We met Monday, August 8th, 11:15 to 12:30, attending Andrew Zuckerman, Ross Kasun, Joanne Groeger, Pepper Evans, Michele Bose, and myself. We reviewed the Eldridge Park Kindergarten Kickstart Program. All 3 Eldridge Park kindergarten teachers will work with all kindergarten students during the first 4 days of the school year prior to assigning students to classrooms and teachers. Letters will go to all parents around August 26 explaining this program. An information meeting will be held by Amy Amiat, principal at EPS, before the end of the summer. Maureen Hise updated the committee on the 2 different reading programs that have been selected to run as pilot programs in the elementary schools this year. Both the performance of these programs as well as the costs are being considered. Data will be collected, and there'll be multiple forms of evaluation to determine which of these 2 programs is going to help us meet our reading goals for the elementary students. Professional development, the school year begins with 4 days of PD for new teaching staff. August 24th, 25th, 29th, and 30th will be professional development for all new teaching staff. On September 1st and 2nd, the entire staff will be in district for PD prior to the start of the new school year. The new staff will also receive a separate professional development for technology. Multiple opportunities were offered, and new staff were able to select the date that worked best for each of them. That training is taking place now. LTPS received a rather interesting grant this month, the Queen Amina Grant. It was an LHS student that applied for the grant, that located the grant opportunity, applied for it, and received the grant. The money will be used for music education at LIS and LMS. Composers and performers will come into the two schools and work with all band and orchestra students. So we're very pleased to be able to make good use of those funds. And with that, I would like to move IS 1 through 8.
Second?
Okay, with a motion and a second, if we could call the roll?
Yes. Second was Ms. Bose, is that correct?
No, Dr. King.
Dr. King that time.
Motion by Dr.
Joanne.
Mrs. Groeger.
Joanne.
Yes.
I can't, sorry.
It had to be Michele because Dr. King
I'm
made the
sorry.
motion.
Something's wrong
Unless she
tonight.
threw her voice down the way.
Just for the
Okay.
audience, the school board is on summer break as well.
Ms. Bose,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mrs. Groeger,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the Finance Committee report.
Yes, the Finance Committee met on August 4th from 8 to 9:15. Joining me were Kevin Van Hise, Gregory Johnson, and Tom Eldridge. On our agenda was transportation. All bus routes are staffed, including the courtesy routes at Federal City and Bunker Hill and at ECV. The busing costs have escalated significantly due to gas prices and driver salaries. Buses for athletics may run later, but all routes are covered. SAGE Crisis Counseling Services are subcontracted counselors who are being paid from the ARP, American Recovery Plan, federal funds, which will run out. So we'll need to decide if we want to continue contracting the crisis counselors, and if so, how the services will be funded. We looked at some policies. There were changes to the language in 2 policies and regulations, but nothing changed in the content of the policies. An architect, changes in the architect we've been using. We've had an ongoing relationship with Spiesel, and many of our building improvements have come from Spiesel. Changes in their services are delaying bids on the LMS auditorium project. And with that, I'd like to move SBM 1 through 13.
Second?
Okay, with a motion and a second, if you could please call the roll?
Ms. Bose,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mrs. Groeger,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And with that, that brings us to the next opportunity for public input. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to new business.
Okay, new business, you will find a few resignations, transfers, appointments for a social worker who just happens to be a Lawrence resident, yay! And a librarian, several assistant appointments, summer appointments, as well as various substitute appointments. And with that, I'd like to recommend moving NB1 through NB26.
Would you allow for for that to be 25? So that
Okay.
we can take care of some ministerial duties?
Separate 26 then, NB1 through NB25.
Second?
Okay, with a motion and a second, if we could call the roll, please?
Ms. Bose,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Groeger,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Dr. King,
Yes.
Ms. Santos,
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise,
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Farmer,
What would you like to do with 26?
may I introduce 2 motions?
Okay, I'd like to move NB.
No, please, they have to be read.
Okay,
So these are 2 motions that we have on the agenda. They were not on the agenda that we handed out. We put them on late, But they are posted on our website, and we just wanted to make sure that you understood that to be transparent. We must read NB 26 and NB 27, its companion resolution by the Board of Education. NB 26 is something that the state is requiring us to read. It is something that is difficult to read, given it's simply a late, attending training late. And so I'm going to read this, and it's something that it does not represent Lawrence Township Public Schools. It is certainly not indicative, and it is not anything that we would wish or read out voluntarily. It is certainly also not something that we would lead ourselves with or anyone else. And so the gist of it is, one of our board members was late in completing some training, and as a result of completing the training that was completed, there was a 30-day suspension that had to be served, which was served. And we must post this reading on in a conspicuous place, and we must read this. The reason I'm reading this motion is because I find it so despicable I wouldn't have you utter it. And so it is nothing that we would have associated with ourselves, and it is beneath your dignity to read. But nevertheless, it must be read. So whereas Michele Bowes is a school official as defined in the School Ethics Act, serving as a member of the Lawrence Township Board of Education located in Mercer County, at all times relevant to the matter at the issue above captioned matter, and whereas a decision on May 24th, the School Ethics Commission found the respondent failed to comply with an annual training mandate, given a certain deadline in violation of the New Jersey statutes 18A, 1233, and Administrative Code 6828. And whereas the Commission recommended the Commissioner of Education impose a penalty of removal, with such removal to become effective immediately upon adoption of the Commissioner of Education. However, if respondent completed the training before the Commissioner of Education adopted the final decision, which was 45 days after the Commissioner's decision was mailed, then the Commission recommended that the Commissioner of Education, in lieu of removal, impose a 30-day suspension, with such suspension to become effective immediately upon adoption by the Commissioner of Education. And whereas, following issuance of the Commissioner's May 24, 2022 decision, the respondent completed the mandated training, and whereas the decision dated July 7, 2022, the Commissioner of Education found that the respondent failed to timely honor the obligation placed upon the Board of Education members by law, concurred with the penalty recommended by the Commission, and ordered a 30-day suspension. Whereas New Jersey Administrative Code 6828 10.12d provides that for a penalty of censure, suspension, or removal, a resolution shall be adopted at the Commission's next meeting following issuance of the Commissioner's decision, that the resolution shall be read at the next public meeting of the Board, this gathering, following its adoption, and shall be posted in places by the Board as the Board posts public notices for a period of not less than 30 days. And now, therefore, be it resolved. Now, this resolution is not this Board of Education being resolving. This is the Commission's resolution. The Commission adopts this resolution stating that the respondent is hereby suspended for 30 days from July 8th, 2022 through August 7th, 2022 for having found to be in violation of 18A 1233 of this Act and implementing the regulation, namely N.J.A.C. 6828 and 4-1 and 2. And further, be it resolved that the Board is ordered, therefore, that is the state of New Jersey is ordering that this resolution, that is, to be read at its next regularly scheduled public meeting and post such places that the Board posts its notice for a period of no less than 30 days. Be it further resolved that the Board shall provide the Commission with the minutes once adopted from this meeting at which it reads this, the resolution within. Upon receiving this, I was absolutely heartbroken to think that one of our board members who spends time with you all as board members, who you've seen reach out to parents as they've grieved the loss of their children and attend their houses and their services, who is an advocate for parents in making sure that their children get the services that they need, who is an advocate for our staff members, who's an advocate for the community, who stands up when a voice needs to be heard, even when that voice is not in the room, to make sure that we're doing the right things. To understand that this person embodies that which we strive for in our mission statement. And as we teach our children and we try to develop them, and we do everything that we can to make sure that they are free, functioning adults that make decisions to be a responsible citizen, to know that that person is in our midst and works amongst us and is one of our colleagues. To know that because one person was late, because they were dealing with their own personal responsibilities, in addition to making sure that they were there for their brother, so to speak, meaning their community members, unfailingly so. And to think with a level of disgust that someone, because they were late for their training, would have to have this resolution read. And with the understanding that we too have a duty to the law and to abide it, we've written the following resolution in response to this: and rise to a higher place. And with that, now, if you would, Madam President, I'd like to step back and have someone else read the next resolution to lift us to a higher place and set an example for the state of New Jersey as to what Lawrence stands for, as it would never do such a thing.
Excuse me, if Madam President, if I could make a comment and ask a question. Do we have to vote for this resolution?
We do not, only that we read it. And so we will not be voting on it.
Okay.
Only
Good.
that we read it. So we
It's
will
terrible.
eliminate it.
This is terrible, and I support Michele Bowes 100%.
And we had a, just so you know, we received that in the email, and and you hear the emotion and you understand the depth of the disgust. But there's something better than that, and there's something so much more positive. As we sat down and we looked at this, and we all, the audience, the people who might be watching this on TV, and all board members here, certainly all staff members, know that being late for something, given what the people at this board, the volunteers here, and the staff members have committed themselves to, who give themselves constantly, our staff members, our board members, our custodians, our lunch ladies, our bus drivers, our teachers' assistants, our teachers, all know that we wouldn't do something like that. And so we decided we were going to handle this a different way. And so, Michele, we all thought of you and what came to mind. And Ross, you taught us all this. You have to look at things in totality. And so with that, we wrote some things. And I'd like to begin, if you would, Madam President, allowing me to read some of it and hand it off.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, and Mr. Van Hise will pick up.
Mr. who?
Mr. Van Hise will pick up from you.
Oh, that would be wonderful. So we wrote, whereas Michele Bowes dutifully serves as a valued and key member of the Lawrence Township Board of Education, and whereas Michele Bowes is empathic and advocates for each child's unique interests and abilities, and whereas Michele Bowes advocates for the concerns of parents, for parents who strive for their child's success, and whereas Michele Bowes is actively engaged in school activities and seeks to advocate for children who are without strong home support, and whereas Michele Bowes actively seeks out the concerns of staff members and takes a sincere interest in their well-being and success. And the understanding there is all of our kids grow up to be an adult, and she cares about you once you're an adult too, not only as a child. Whereas Michele Bowes, for the betterment of the schools, always listens to all sides of an issue or an argument and is eager to learn and grow. And whereas Michele Bowes seeks to assist families and staff members through life events, both pleasant and during crisis. And whereas Michele Bowes is an advocate for the Lawrence Township Public Schools and the broader community by balancing district needs and community resources. And whereas Michele Bowes consistently leads by example through honest work, feedback, and courteous dialogue while respecting divergent and consensus opinions. And whereas Michele Bowes focuses on the welfare of all students and not just a single cause. And whereas Michele Bowes is goal-oriented to ensure that the board's work manifests itself in meeting student needs. And whereas Michele Bowes offers her developed professional insights for the betterment of Lawrence children. And whereas Michele Bowes is receptive to community engagement and welcomes the community, that is others, to join the board's cause and offer feedback. And whereas Michele Bowes strives to maintain Lawrence Township Public Schools' reputation by setting high standards and ambitious goals. And whereas Michele Bowes is an endless cheerleader for our students, our parents, our staff, and our district, a person who celebrates large and small accomplishments of all. And whereas Michele Bowes is a valued and trusted resource for her fellow board members, always helping and assisting members with anything needed in the fulfillment and discharge of their duties. Kevin, if you'd like to pick it up.
Sure. And whereas N.J.A.C. 6A 28-4.1 requires that the school board members complete a training program prepared and offered by the New Jersey School Boards Association. And whereas, due to personal circumstances, Michele Bowes was unable to complete the required training program within the period required by NJAC 6A 28-4.1. And whereas, pursuant to NJAC 6A 28-4.2, the New Jersey School Boards Association is required to present to the School Ethics Commission a list of those board members who have not fulfilled the training requirements, and the SEC is tasked with determining if a violation of the School Ethics Act has occurred. And whereas Michele Bowes did subsequently complete the required training program, and whereas, although noting that Michele Bowes did complete the required training, but finding that she did not timely honor the obligation placed upon Board of Education members by law, the SEC found that Michele Bowes failed to comply with the annual training mandate in violation of NJSA 18A:12-33 and NJAC 6A 28-4.1, and ordered a 30-day suspension from the board with said finding and order set forth in a resolution of suspension T25-21 adopted by the SEC on July 26, 2022. And whereas Michele Bowes acknowledged the violation, took personal responsibility for being late, has apologized and shown remorse for her inability to complete the training requirements in a timely manner, and has served her period of suspension as ordered by the SEC. And whereas, citing NJAC 6A 28-10.12D, the SEC required that the board read its resolution at the board's next regularly scheduled public meeting, post the resolution for a period of not less than 30 days, and provide the SEC with the minutes from the meeting at which the resolution was read. And whereas the board has complied with the requirements of NJAC 6A 28-10.12D and the SEC resolution, and adopts this resolution evidencing compliance with same. And whereas the board also adopts this resolution expressing its disappointment and outrage at the imposition of such reading and posting requirements in this specific instance, noting that NJAC 6A 28-1.8 specifically provides that the SEC may relax or dispense with any rule, and I quote, in any case where a strict adherence thereto may be deemed inappropriate or unnecessary or may result in an injustice. And whereas the board expresses its continued support of and adherence to the highest ethical standards required and expected of board members, and does not countenance or condone any exception thereto. However, as a state and national district of character, the board also encourages, teaches, and instills in our community traits such as personal responsibility, empathy, understanding, compassion, and learning from one's mistakes. And whereas the board recognizes that Michele Bowes exemplifies the traits the board strives to encourage, teach, and instill. And whereas the board recognizes the importance of the reading and posting requirements of NJAC 6A 28-10.12D, where a violation of the School Ethics Act may imperil the public trust in a school board member, the board, or the district. However, where such an interest does not exist, the reading and posting requirements can only be viewed as additional punishment via a very public shaming, equating to the modern-day equivalent of a scarlet letter. And whereas in the instant case, Michele Bowes has acknowledged the violation, completed the required training, expressed remorse, and has reaffirmed her commitment to timely complete the necessary training requirements in the future. And whereas Michele Bowes did not contest or appeal the SEC determination, and dutifully served her period of suspension, taking personal responsibility for her actions and learning from such mistake. And whereas the board expresses its finding and belief that the reading and posting requirements in this particular case serve no discernible public interest, are contrary to the tenets of a district of character, where a board member at issue has taken full responsibility for her actions, and as such are inappropriate, unnecessary, and may result in an injustice, warranting a relaxation of the requirements of NJAC 6A 28-10.12D, as provided for by NJAC 6A 28-1.8. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Lawrence Township Board of Education as followed. 1, the preamble to this resolution is hereby incorporated as if fully restated herein. 2, the board acknowledges receipt of the resolution of suspension, SEC docket number T 25-21, adopted by the School Ethics Commission on July 26, 2022, and confirms that said resolution was read at the next regularly scheduled public meeting of the board held on August 10, 2022, has been posted in such places as the board posts its public notices, and will be posted for a period of not less than 30 days, as required by and in full compliance with NJAC 6A 28-10.12D. The board has complied with its legal and ethical requirements in this matter, but expresses its determination that a reading and posting requirements in this particular case serve no discernible public interest and are contrary to the tenets of a district of character, where the board member at issue has taken full responsibility for her actions and has accepted and served the period of suspension ordered by the SEC, and as such, finds that said requirements are inappropriate, unnecessary, and may result in an injustice warranting a relaxation of the requirements of NJAC 6A 28-10.12D and as provided for by NJAC 6A 28-1.8. And having expressed her apology for the violation and having served a period of suspension as required by the SEC, the board publicly expresses its support for and continued confidence in Board Member Michele Bowes and thanks her for her continuing contributions to the board, the district, our students, parents, staff, and residents of our community. The board implores the SEC in future cases of such similar violations to contemplate the negative effects of the strict adherence to its rules and urges the SEC to consider granting relief from the reading and publication requirements as specifically authorized by NJAC 6A 28-1.8. And lastly, the board secretary shall cause a copy of this resolution and a copy of the adopted minutes from the August 10, 2022 meeting of the board, when available, to be transmitted to the director of the School Ethics Commission with a copy to the Mercer County Interim Executive County Superintendent in compliance with the requirements set forth in the SEC resolution.
So with that, the actions that I'm suggesting is that the motion is to acknowledge the reading of NB 26 and approve the reading of NB 27.
So moved.
Second?
Okay. With a motion and a second, if we could call the roll, please.
Ms. Bowes.
I think I'm going to abstain.
Okay. That's very ethical. Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Groeger.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. King.
Yes.
Ms. Santos.
Yes.
Mr. Van Hise.
Yes.
Ms. Farmer.
Yes.
That resolution is passed.
Thank you.
And if I could make one comment, Madam President, I just don't know where the Department of Ed, I just don't know what they're trying to accomplish here, especially during this pandemic and not being flexible with these training requirements.
Okay.
I'd like to make a statement too, if you don't mind. I called several members of New Jersey School Board at the executive level and asked them to re-examine this whole procedure. While I understand for as many years as I've been on the board, they have never held anyone accountable for not attending training. They just would say, you have to, give you a deadline. That was the end. I explained to the 2 or 3 board or executive members that in this case, if they took the time to look at the person that they were throwing these issues at, they would have noticed that, in our case, Michele Bose has attended countless training sessions. She has gone to workshops, we've gone together, always done way more above and beyond, and this is not the example that they should be going after. It should be the people that need the training, have exemplified that they are lacking in training, and in this case, that is certainly not close. And we, as an educator for many years, we as board members understand it's more powerful to see where you need to improve and grow than do punitive things and embarrassment. And I've told them that they definitely have missed the mark on this and they need to go back and reevaluate. So this is a terrible situation, and I'm hoping it's going to turn around and we will make a difference for the following year. We thank you, and we...
I just want to say thank you to everybody for all your support. I acknowledge I did not take the training in the timely manner, and I apologize that it caused a lot of work for members of this board as well as the administration, and I greatly appreciate it. And, you know, sometimes life gets in the way of this job, and I have to prioritize certain things. But I do appreciate the resolution, and thank you for all your hard work.
Okay.
You make us proud, Michele.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we need a resolution to close, or are we...
Okay. Okay, if we can now have a motion
So moved.
for adjournment.
Second? Yeah.
We have a motion from Ms. Groeger and a second from Mr. Van Hise.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, all.
Thank you.
This meeting is